Well, I will certainly make a point of saying this in the introduction, in the intro track, of course. But everybody here at Aaron's Opinion remembers Culturama with Diva, Princess Tia. Welcome back to Aaron's Opinion. It's been a very, very, very long time. I don't specifically know when the last time we actually spoke over a call was. I mean, we've talked back and forth on Messenger or WhatsApp a lot, but anyway, you've been doing a lot, so I'm sure that you want to go over, and I would like to know, what are all of the new projects that you've been working on, and how are things going? And go right ahead.
Oh, I was muted just now. Can you
No
hear me?
problem. Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. All right. So, hi, Aaron, and to your YouTube subscribers. I really appreciate the second time around to come back and share with you and your list, I beg your pardon, your subscribers about what has been happening. So, a quick intro. I am Tanika Williams. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, in the Caribbean. I am a university graduate with a bachelor's degree in the field of entrepreneurship, motivational speaker, Spanish interpreter. What else? I wear many hats: international podcaster, business consultant, social media guru specialist, providing accessibility social media consultation advice to those persons with special needs, and just a good friend.
I especially like the last one. The last one's very important, to be a good friend to people. You're absolutely right. Okay. So I understand that your podcast, specifically speaking on the podcast front, you've been doing a lot of developments and a lot of growth has happened with Culturama with
Yeah.
Diva. So what's going on with Culturama with Diva?
Well, like yourself, we started out on Anchor. We started out on a small, itty baby level. And then as we grow along, we meet people along the way, and then we bloom like a star. So, I started out on Anchor. Well, I started out at university, actually, trying to figure out my podcast idea because in Jamaica and the Caribbean it's hard for a person with special needs to get jobs. And I was saying to myself, what can I do? I'm almost done university. So I decided to think about and conceptualize my podcast idea. And then you and I met in a group, and then we just blew from there. So I was with Anchor, moving on to Pinecast, because as you know yourself, that Anchor caters for persons overseas in terms of in the US when it comes to monetizing, but outsiders it's not going to work. And Anchor tends to own your podcast. When you work so hard in producing it, getting the people content, it's not fair. So I said, you know what? You're not going to own my craft. So I've researched, I've come across lots of consultants, lots of people in the podcast biz, and they have advised me, and I'm moving on. So in October, I will be shutting down the Anchor feed for 2 weeks to hop across the Pinecast and ensuring that things are up and running to facilitate those who are blind or low vision and the sighted world as they continue to listen to Culture with Diva. Also, Aaron, I'll be moving to the video side of things, YouTube side of things, because persons have been saying, hey girl, you need to go video, I myself was camera shy. I will admit that I was camera shy, but I'm here doing lots of Instagram lives and all the other stuff. So YouTube, I'm coming your way.
Yeah, I hope so. And I will tell you that the majority of my audience is on YouTube. That's where most of people are actually enjoying
Yes,
Aaron's
that's so
Opinion.
true.
And I think that a lot of people are curious about what I look like, and they like to put a face to the name, and they like to see me talking. I think is the fascination. But I will tell you that, of course, I know you know this, but to anyone that's wondering, you definitely have to maintain the podcast side, the audio side, and the YouTube side. In fact, with every YouTube video that we produce here at Aaron's Opinion, if you just want to listen to the podcast and you don't want to watch the video, then you can go to the comments and I put the corresponding episode into the comment section. So it's very easy for people to find both the podcast, the audio, and the video. But I think it balances out because most people who listen to Aaron's Opinion on the podcast end are from the United States, but most of the people who watch us here are from outside of the United States. So I think the two really balance each other out really, really well. And of course, you're really into the business side of things. So what are some new products, new businesses, new ventures that you're really digging into this year? What do you think?
Okay, so the name of my business is called Kreative, spelled with a K, Kreativeminds, Business Development Services. So the name came about back in high school because I'm always creative, thinking creatively. And as such, when I entered a elevator pitch competition hosted by Inspire Trading Solutions, they gave me the push to really set up my business. So we do podcast editing, we do advertisements, voiceover training, we do business consultation for small businesses, we do vision navigation consultant for those who are totally blind or low vision. We do elevator pitch business training and certified public speaking. So that's a lot on my hat. And, if you ask how do I do it, I'm a one-man person, one show. Well, I do have a very, very small team with me, but the majority of the work is done by myself. And if you ask how do I do a time balance, as long as you have your iPhone, your Alexa device, your calendars, you're good to go. Really and truly, as a person with a visual impairment, it's really easy. It can be difficult to manage, but it's really easy once you know your time limits, your time schedule. And if you're a social media addict like me, there's a thing called Facebook Business Suite. It's an app itself. May I just say it's very accessible for those who use the voiceovers or talkbacks on the Android. You are able to schedule your posts, so you don't have to worry about, let me post this, let me post that. It's already there, it just posts for you based on the time that you have posted. So I'm really busy, but I manage my time wisely.
That's really excellent. And that's one of the things that I do. And people ask me, Aaron, how do you be successful in life? I say, you have to maintain a sense of schedule every single day. It's a huge thing. But so many people struggle with that. And I don't really understand why, but they really struggle with that in all over the world, it seems. Yes, definitely. So, as far as, advertising for businesses and people and things like, can you maybe walk us through, in one sentence and kind of summarize, well, if a listener's listening to this and they have a podcast that they want to be edited, or they have a business that they need some advertising help for, kind of walk us through the chart of all the things that you do and explain how it would work for someone if they came to you and the whole process.
So let me just make it very clear that we don't just leave you in the dungeon. We walk with you from start to finish. So let me go to the podcast because that's easier. So I basically had to walk by myself. When I was asking people for help, they're like, come on, girl, just go research it, Google, YouTube. I'm like, okay, then, but I still need some guidance. And there I was limboing. And then I said, you know what, let me make it accessible to everybody to, walk from start to finish. There's a song by the Grace Thrillers that says, can't even walk without you holding my hand. And I know persons in the podcasting field, can't even walk without you holding their hand. So you come to me for a 30 minutes consultation. That's free, FREE, free. And then I give you a starter package, and it's very low as $100. Right? So you get an intro and an outro. You get 2 days of consultations. You get one show to be edited, and we ensure that we pick out your podcast platform for you. We We help you with your first content. We help you to hook up your social media pages, or should I say set up your social media pages, whether Instagram, Facebook, Skype, Zoom. We help you go through your recording tactics, as in how do you record your guests. And let me just say that I want persons to take good advantage of Zoom, Skype, and Clean Feed, as well as Google Meets. You can't go wrong with those, especially Clean Feed. There was an episode done by Jonathan Mosen on Clean Feed, so go grab a listen at that. For business now, business consultation, now that's kind of different. If you are a small business owner and you want to set up your business, I charge $150 US, which is about 16,000 Jamaican. Now, what you get with this 3 days consultation, you get a book, your own customized book. And if you're overseas, we send it to you. If you're international, we send it to you. So this customized book outlines your accounts. So not everybody knows accounts. So we tell you how to set up your balance sheet, your income statement, your profit and loss. So we set up for you with your own customized instructions. Now, if you are totally blind or low vision, I'd have to do it in a spreadsheet format for you, because you can use your voiceover or talkback or JAWS or NVDA to access the columns and type in your information. You also get a handy dandy booklet of all the entrepreneurial terms like mission and vision, goals, objectives, values, who's an entrepreneur, that's all the stuff, whether hard copy or soft copy, that's up to you. And my clients have benefited from it, and it's a tremendous feeling to know that you are able to provide quality service to your customers.
Really good. Really, really excellent. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people who are intimidated to get into podcasting and content creation, but with this help, like we've been saying here at Aaron's Opinion, and by the way, I must tell you, I don't know if I did tell you this, but we've been really growing a lot internationally here at Aaron's Opinion too. We've had a lot of really, I mean, you're exciting, but we've had a lot of really exciting guests.
Yes, congratulations on your growth, by the way.
Thank you for that. Yeah, some really incredible people who are now in the WhatsApp group. I know that, with everything you do, it's hard to check WhatsApp, but believe me when I tell you, there's a lot of really, we have a lot of wonderful people now who would certainly benefit from these types of services, and certainly need
I'm going to come back. It's just that I have one device. I'm on the next device coming. So when I get my next device, I will jump back in.
Good. No, I believe you, Tanika, definitely. And I think that as we say here at Aaron's Opinion, help one person today, help a million tomorrow. So, if we can help only one person get into podcasting,
right,
that would be tremendously helpful. I think that there's a lot of people around the community who are benefiting, from your knowledge and my knowledge and our knowledge, and things like things like that. So that's all really good. So right now, do you only have people signing up with you from Jamaica, or do you have people from all over the world on your in your company right now?
Let me just say before I answer your question, persons may say, "Oh, damn, she's expensive." No, I'm not expensive, because I have to do research, a survey in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world to see, what's the status like in terms of employment, pocket-wise, COVID, and that's the lowest price. But if you really don't have it, I'm more than willing to go pro bono, because I was in your shoes. And, I have seen where right now I'm dealing with a client who has sickle cell disorder. Oh. And she's a newbie in business, in terms of setting up her business. She does products in terms of like back to school supplies, clothing, and she doesn't have much. But I said, God, because I used to work at an epidemiology unit on the university campus, I have an idea of what it's like to deal with those persons with sickle cell. Trust me, I've been there. But certain things you have to pay, certain things you have to get pro bono. But the point I'm making is, she said, I have been to many consultants and they deny her. But for me to come and you know, be there with her. That's a big boom, a big bomb. And I really applaud myself and her for, you know, really putting this thing together. So now on to your question. So I collaborate with everybody in terms of clients in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world, but in particular the Caribbean, because, you know, not many visually impaired or totally blind persons in the Caribbean have that strength to really get up and do something. Let me not say that word. Get up and do something that they're passionate about and such. Hence why I have also entered a pageant to really boost up the Caribbean economy in terms of boost up those who are totally blind or low vision, and our ladies on a whole. We'll get to that shortly. But I've partnered with persons in the Caribbean, Canada, US, everywhere to come on my program and be a guest based on their line of business.
Really good. Wonderful. So now, where are you planning on taking the Culturama with Diva podcast itself? What are some of your goals with that?
Okay, so I'm currently on a few radio stations. One is called Gospel 24/7. Another one is called Dodge Radio. Another one is called High Energy FM. That's in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm going to be going radio-wise right now. Also TV-wise, as I said before, the YouTube channel, but mostly radio-wise. Oh yes, merchandise that's almost coming up. Culturama t-shirts, Culturama masks, Culturama handbands, Culturama phone cases. And for those persons who are low vision and totally blind, you can get your phone case customized with the letters in Braille. So if you can't see the print, I'll put it in Braille for you. I'll be partnering with Elegance Insights Braille Creations somewhere up in the California, yes. But I am catering to everybody, all walks of life.
By the way, I know that you are, as we say, totally blind, but do you know that I'm wearing an Aaron's Opinion t-shirt?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud. Woo!
I have my own red. I have my. But that means. Oh wait, I can translate. That means that you want one, right?
Yes. I need to get some t-shirts. I need to get one from Third Eye Visions, one from Blind Girl Magic, now Aaron's Opinion. So I have a collection of shirts to get, but they're all ready and waiting for me. Whenever I'm ready, I'll just make my order. But I have a little long wait because of my busy schedule, because I want to ensure I get the right size, because but I'm getting my shirts. Don't worry, guys, I'm getting my shirts.
So yes, you can certainly. You know what? We can talk about it off the air, but right. you've been one of the many, and that's the amazing thing too about podcasting. The longer I do it over the years, I really see that so many of us in the community are great friends and are consistently supportive. Our other great friend Radwan, our other great friend Wayne.
Yes.
You've noticed it, even though you haven't been in the group, you remember those names, Radwan from Tunisia and Wayne, and so many others have been so supportive. And that's why I think both of us, me and you, badly need to keep setting up these episodes and keep on this path of success, because I think a lot of people are benefiting, whether they stop and admit to it or not. They might be too cool for their cucumbers to admit it, but I think a lot of people secretly are using our knowledge and are really benefiting from it. So, yeah, I do t-shirts, and that's awesome. All. And I think it's kind of weird, but I think like t-shirts are a really great way to connect, because you can give someone a shirt
and your brand.
And then it's your brand, but then when they wear it, they feel that they're connected to you. So it's a really special way of connecting to your customers. So definitely you should make some Culturama t-shirts.
Yes, that's coming up.
Oh, that's so good. That's excellent. That's
That's
really,
gonna be a
really.
big sell. And let me say shout out to my business mentor, Ms. Karen Fong out there in Jamaica from Caribbean Business Elegance. She's cited, but we go way back from university days, and here we are setting up our businesses and collaborating. And I just enjoy my time with her. She's my consultant. Whenever I'm having a problem, I call her 24/7 and she's there to answer me, especially if she's tired, but she answers, and I appreciate her so much. And all my fans, my supporters, my friends, parents, my sisters, my team, I love you all. Thank you so much for journeying with me. And to my Instagram friends and family, thank you so much for watching the posts and liking and subscribing and all that sort of stuff.
And that's, by the way, guys, that's really important. When you like a video, when you like a post, definitely like it and comment, because that gives the post more investment, and that really promotes that particular post. So definitely, if you like stuff, show the system that you like it, and that's really important. Yeah. But yeah, what are some other things that you've been doing? I think you mentioned pageants, and that you're doing more maybe with Streamyard, and maybe turning Culturama into a TV show of sorts, right?
Right. So in regards to StreamYard, I'm still yet to learn it. I have started. So StreamYard is one of the most accessible platforms for streaming live on YouTube, or should I say a combination of streaming live on YouTube and Facebook and Periscope and other platforms. Also, yes, I've entered a pageant, which is hosted by the nonprofit organization Eyes Like Mine Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 501c3 hosted by Miss Crystal Allen, and they are about changing the way they see blindness, providing career resources, and much other. So I met this lady, and I said, "Can I enter the pageant?" And she said, "Sure," because I'm like, it's most of a person in the States. And she's like, "Oh, no, you don't. It's my pageant." I'm like, "Okay." So enter. I'm like, "Okay." So I'm entering to represent Jamaica and the Caribbean. So I'm entering because I love to interact with people. I love to connect. That's me. I love to connect. I love to gain exposure, build my brand, and most importantly, represent the Caribbean ladies, whether you have a challenge or not, representing big time. So I encourage you all to vote on the video, and I will send you the link so you can put in the comment in the description section. Rather, vote, 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 vote. And I'll also send you flyers so you can put up for the press release, because the final night they'll be announcing the winners October 2nd. I know Miss Alba Miller was one of your guests previously,
Mm-hmm.
and she has been a strong mentor to me, and I appreciate her so much.
Oh,
And
so
others.
good.
So it's a great journey. So I am proud, and even if I don't win, folks, I am still a winner. I'm about changing perspective, changing the way we see blindness, changing the way we see business and building brands. So, to my Jamaicans on Instagram as well, I see you all on Instagram. Vote up, vote up, vote up. Let us send up those votes. It's somewhere on my Instagram page. Yes, we're live on Instagram. It's somewhere on my page. Look for me in a pink shirt, sponsored by Stellar Tees in St. Thomas. The shirt is there, the picture of me is there, and the YouTube link below is there, but I'll send it to you so you can post it in the description section. So that's what's coming up. That's basically that.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah. And Alba has been working on a lot of different things. She's been less active in the group, so I don't know, but I'm glad that you guys talked, and I'm glad that you were able to benefit from one of the other guests. So that's really, really good to know. Yeah. And and of course, I'm sure that you've heard a little rumor that me and Gavin and Mr. Wilbert, of course, oftentimes do a great show together. That tell it like it is, on UVC radio and all of that. So
Yes, I've heard the rumor. Yes.
yes, that's a quite a show that they have over there. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I've been on several times and talking to a lot of them. So of course I know a lot about what's going on all over the Caribbean. But what have been some specific things that, like, what's the latest news, I guess, from from Jamaica and what types of things are going on, in your life and neighborhood and all of that?
Well, COVID is still here. That's number one. But as I was telling an audience the other day, that COVID is here, taking over the world. But don't let it take over your life, family life, rather, and business and your personal space. I repeat, COVID is here, but don't let it take over your family life, work life, and or business, because it will strap you like a belt and you're stuck in a prison cell. I can tell you that, because COVID has done lots of things to lots of people: mental health, financial wise, relationships, and we just have to burn the midnight oil and find a way out. So in Jamaica, where the lockdown restrictions has been abolished, in terms of we were on lockdown, what we call it, no movement days, but only on Sundays. Only on Sunday now, no movement days. And this will go on to October 18, something like that. Yes, the curfews have been adjusted to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturday 6 p.m. Sunday no movement day. Persons are taking the vaccines. 3 of them are here: Johnson & Johnson, the Pfizer, and the AstraZeneca. Face-to-face classes are trying to resume for students, but I don't think it's going to work. I know for university students, they do their courses online, and exams may be done face-to-face. The economy is moving really slowly in terms of business-wise. People are trying to find food to eat and all that stuff. But the private sector and the public sector is trying to make ends meet. I have been receiving lots of messages, lots of comments in my Instagram and email and all that stuff, that somebody should try and do a Christmas treat for persons with special needs in Jamaica, or should I say a person with a disability try and do a Christmas treat for their own colleagues, their own persons with special needs. And I said, okay, Lord, should I take up this challenge or what? And I did, because Kelly Clarkson said, what kills you make you stronger. And I said, COVID or no COVID, I'm going to do this Christmas treat. And it's going to be in the form of a KFC drive-through. So in Jamaica, you have KFC drive-through. So the cars would come in, collect their packages, get some food and leave. Or if you're not driving, come in and walk or wheel. We'll get you your packages and then you leave, because, COVID restrictions and that sort of stuff. But that's it. I'm good. I work from home. I got my business. I'm vaccinated. I'm good to go. I'm a little fearful sometimes, but you have to do what's best for you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. I've been fully, well, my whole family and I, thank God, have been vaccinated, and none of us got the virus. So that's overall a huge relief. But of course, the stress and the economic damage, even in the United States, is profound. So it's really been a very challenging couple of years. I don't quite remember the last time we had a conversation like this, live over Zoom, but I don't really remember, but I remember that, of course, it was still under COVID when you came. When was the last time you were on the podcast? So I don't even remember.
Sometime in 2018, 17, I made a post.
No, that was the first. No, that was the first time you ever came on. That was when I was just getting started. But I mean, there must have been a second time, or maybe
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like this is the third time, but but that's really good. The other thing too that I know that you've mentioned in the past is that you wanted to start some sort of a podcast training academy or something like that.
It has started actually.
Mm-hmm.
It has started. So I have 3 different programs for 3 different for different folks. Because again, I have 3 different programs for different folks, for different strokes, for different pockets. So if you just want a podcast training for 30 days, that's $150. We go through your podcast equipment, your podcast recording, set up, that's it. If you want to go to 2 months, you pay $200. where you get lots of training, lots of coaching. You are a guest on my show. We get flyers done for you. We get you set up. If you want a year course, a year, yeah, I didn't say 6 months, a year. You pay $500 and you get full access training where I teach you how to use the Zoom platform, Skype, Google Meet, because I see in the space that you're podcasting, but you don't know the equipment, which makes no sense. It's good to learn, but you can't just start a podcast and you don't know the equipment, not even to press the mute button. So it's good to get training. It's good to get things sorted out. And most persons are going for the first two I just mentioned, the 30 days and the 3 months course. So that's fine. Can't complain. But I'm not boasting, but persons, the customer reviews are saying that, they have been to other podcast academies and they have not got the training so extensively, So as I said, I want to hold your hand. I'm a mentor, a friend. Talk to me, but don't go too far. Don't go too deep, but talk to me. Let me hear what's on your mind. You know what I mean? But there was a lady and a person from Jamaica who would know who I'm talking about. Her name is Crystal Tomlinson. She is a media personality. And she was offering a coaching program. And she said, people, I want to be a friend, not a best friend, but a mentor. So that same concept I'm using. I want to be a friend. I want to be a mentor. But don't get too deep. But Tom, Dick, and Harry and Jane. Oh, she said this and she said that. Okay, she's spreading rumor. Okay, now I'm done. Nope. No, not me. So let's talk. Let's connect. But don't go too deep. And ask my clients, ask my guests. They will tell you for the past 2-3 years. We have our disagreements, but you have never seen me jump down your throat and say, "Oh, Aaron, you this. Oh, Aaron, you that. Get off my shoulder." Nope. And I'm really happy for that.
Well, good. You saying that on the podcast only gives others the opportunity to try to test you. That's kind of the trouble with you saying that you would never say that you jump down someone's throat. Now that you've already set the precedent, now that you've already drawn that line in the sand for saying you would never jump down someone's throat, then someone will try to jump down your throat. That's the trouble now. Oh boy. Well, you said it. You got your. Well, let's see what the consequences of that one is. Let's see if you get some crazy people. But no, that's really good. It's really good. As I was saying, like I say, I think that there are several people, here at the Aaron's Opinion community who would absolutely benefit from your training, especially when you said about podcast editing. Someone that we know in our right here at Aaron's Opinion is having, and you probably know who it is having a lot of trouble because he's basically complained to me about it and he's gotten very frustrated. So I think, off the air, I think you could reach out to him if you want. And especially too,
I will do something special for you, a certain coupon code, and we can get some clients sorted out for you.
Yeah, let's do that, because thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's do that because I've been wanting to, I haven't been able to do a promotion here at Aaron's Opinion where I say this episode is brought to you by blah, blah, blah. I haven't had one of those in a very long time. So I would love to help you, and I would love to help get that business, moving in the right direction. After all, if I only helped you, well, how many other people can you help? And the answer is a million. You never know what the consequences of being helpful will be. But I know that it's definitely the right thing, fundamentally the right thing to do. And factually, I know of someone who keeps complaining to me that he's overwhelmed by his editing and he needs help. So I specifically have someone who badly needs help. So yeah, but that's really good. So I mean, do you have and how are you organizing your website? In other words, one of the one of the questions that I get a lot is, Aaron, how can I contact you? And I say, well, my email's this and my number's this. Go, you can send me a text, send me an email, go to my pages. But a lot of people are overwhelmed by that. So do you have a really user-friendly website that we can put in the description so people can just go directly to that?
Okay, so currently my website is almost finished, but I will send you my Linktree profile, which is really accessible. You just click the button and all my links are there. Double tap on it and it'll take you straight to where you want to reach me. So my YouTube channel is there, my email is there, my emailing list is there, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram is there. So, that's just, for a short time until I get my website up and running. But it's always good to keep your stuff in one place. So you just send the link and they're good and you're good to go. So I will send you that momentarily. But to reach me, you can find me on Instagram at Diva_Williams Creative. That's DIVA Williams WILLIAMS Diva Williams _creative. Yes, KREATIVE. On Facebook, it's Creative Minds _JA, KREATIVEMINDS _J as in Jack, A as in Apple. You can find me on Twitter at Diva_Williams Creative as well. You can find me on Clubhouse as at Princess Tia. You can email me at kreativeminds.ja@gmail.com, and those will be in the description segment of your YouTube channel.
Okay, very good. Or actually, if you can give me the link tree would be probably the best.
Right, I'll do that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, the link tree can be the description, and that'll be a really good way for people to know how they can reach you. Yeah. Yeah, that's all really good. I see a lot of potential with all of my guests, and I see a lot of potential with, certainly with what you're doing, especially that whole concept of a merch shop. So how have you, how are you working on that? How are you getting that set up? Because, I'm slowly but surely working towards a future idea about, I already have the T-shirts for me, but what do you think about setting up a merch shop? Like how does it work? A lot of people want to know.
All right. So again, I tell my clients, and one of my clients is right here on Instagram in front of me, listening to me. I tell my clients, survey, research, ask questions. That's the first thing I do. People are like, why are you asking so much questions? You're not a lawyer. I'm like, hello, I have a lawyer in my family, but I need to ask questions. So first thing, survey. Then I contact various shipping companies in Jamaica and overseas, in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and overseas, so that before I putting the stuff together, I know which shipping company costs what, where, who, why, when. So after I contact the shipping companies, then I contact various suppliers, like those that do the shirts, the masks, phone cases. So when I contact them and I do my accounting with their prices and my price and plus shipping plus website fee plus this plus that, it all adds up. And I'll be attending a training course. I'll be attending a training course hosted by a Jamaican. I know her Instagram page is boss_business link up, that teaches you how to set up your Amazon account to put your merchandise on it. So that's in the making, but the stuff are almost completion. And then now after the training course, then I'll fully open the merchant line for you all to purchase and feel happy about your life.
Well, very good. That's really excellent. Yeah, sure. Yeah, a lot of it's about doing the research and figuring out what you want your product to be. And but I certainly like the idea of a T-shirt. I think that's a really touching way to communicate a message. It's very understandable for people. We're out in public all the time. We're wearing it, so you might as well wear a brand. That's a really good way. So yeah. Definitely. And So we're now to the autumn now. Between now and the end, the end of the year, where do you see yourself and where do you hope the business will go, starting next year in 2022?
Repeat your question.
No problem. Where do you hope your business will be when we come around to next year in 2022? What are your goals then? What do you think?
Wow. For my first two books to be published.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I forgot all about that. See, it's been such a long time since we've spoken. I forgot about the book. So yeah, how's that project coming along?
I have cut back on it because of my overwhelmed schedule.
Oh,
But my first title is called Think on the Bigger Picture. It's about my life story, journeying from childbirth, coming right up to university, and setting up a business from scratch as a legally blind person with limited experience, because Jamaicans know it's rough to get jobs for person with special needs. But my first book will be about my life story, and my second book will be about business and podcasting, all you need to know in one. It'll be about all you need to know. So that's a general book, so it'll be available on Amazon, Kindle, paperback. So those are coming up next year. Persons have been demanding me to get that done.
yeah.
So I said, okay, let me start. I've started. I'm in the middle. I've reached the middle.
Right.
So I'm close to the end.
And of course, you're going to put those books up on Audible so that us blind people.
Of course, because yes,
good.
yes.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, these are what you call long-term goals in business. What are your long-term goals? So, as I said, my two books, the next 5 years, although you said next year, is to set up my non-profit organization that will enable the lives of persons to, get food, shelter, and clothing, access to education, business, that sort of stuff. So that's on my table for next year and beyond.
That's all really good. Yeah, I'm especially interested in the books. And of course, if they're on Audible,
I know you will be.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that really tremendously interests me, because it's a way for me to really learn about you and to hear how you write, to hear how you think. That's really powerful. I mean, T-shirts are fun, but a book is a lot of power. It's a lot of self-expression, and I think that there's a lot of people who are around the Caribbean who would certainly love to know about this and things like that. So that's really good. Speaking of books, our great friend Alba was working on a book, and I don't know if she ever finished it. So a lot of people get discouraged in the process of writing books. So never get discouraged about that, and definitely publish those. Yeah, that's going to be really good. So are you going to do like a special episode or like a commercial to talk about your books when they are available, or how will we know about that?
You will be notified in my emailing list, social media posts. Yes, special commercials. I will appear on shows like yours again, and others to come and give you a brief summary of the book, the accessibility, how can you purchase. And I'm going to be in the States to do a couple of signings. So that's going to be a big plus next year.
You can tell me off air, but generally what part of the States?
Will do, no problem.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah, that's really interesting, and I'll tell you why later. But that would be really cool if you did a signing. That would be very intriguing. Yeah, that would be cool. So good. So I mean, do you think the process of writing a book to share your thoughts, was that a really challenging process for you, or I mean, did it come naturally? Because when I hear you speak to people, it seems like everybody says this about podcasting. It's probably easy for you, right? So was writing the book really easy for you, or has that been quite challenging in its own right? What do you think?
Honestly, both. And let me tell you why. It's challenging because you have to be careful of what you quote in the book. So say, for example, you're going to put a quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer or Brian Tracy. You have to be careful of, because I like to make reference to certain quotes, certain phrases, certain, especially for the business side, the business book or the general book. I like to make lots of quotes because I'm always reading. I can tell you, I love to read. I did like to read first time, but I love to read. So I'm always making quote. I'm always finding these quotes and putting them in there to stress the point that, I'm pushing you. I'm putting a pull and push factor in there, because when you're editing, you have to be careful when you're copywriting stuff and this and that. So that's a bit of a challenge. Also, whenever I'm putting in my meanings, let's say, for example, who's an entrepreneur, I put in my meaning from my own headspace. When you go on Google, it's there. So again, we have to be careful of when we write and when we are looking up, so as not to plagiarize or infringe anyone's copyright. It's easy for me because I know the content of my head, whether my life story or business wise, because as I said, I've been through it. When you're writing, it's basically experience that you have been through, experience that you have shared with others. One of the things I've learned, I was looking up some questions to ask an author actually, and when I was writing my question, one of the things I asked her was, what goes on in your headspace? So you're asking me the same question with a different manner. So what goes on in my headspace? I'm all over the place, first thing. Then I write. But when I write, I put it in, I put in a proper order. When I play an unscrambling game, that's how I think. So as I go along, as I do something, as I experience something, as I experience with a client or something or podcast, I write it down and then I turn it into gold. That's just my thinking. So it's hard, but it becomes easy at times. That's why I'm laid back, but I'm getting there.
That's really really good. And then with you being there in Jamaica, do you have to are you going to use like a Jamaican publisher, or are you just going to use one of the American companies to help you? Like how does that work exactly?
So it's up to you whether you want to use a Jamaican publisher or someone overseas, but it's highly recommended that you find someone in both spectrums. So you'd have the Jamaica's Copyright Act. I of course I did intellectual property rights law years ago, and it's good to have the US Copyright Act because somebody in the US may be purchasing your book and you have to be safe than sorry. So, yes.
Very good. Yeah, yeah. And then I've heard that the uploading to Amazon is pretty easy. It's similar to a podcast. You just kind of send it in and then you go through some steps, some
Just give me
hoops.
1 minute. Let me just go get something. Just 1 minute.
Uh,
All right, I'm back with you. Sorry about that.
no worries. Yeah, so you just basically go through some hoops, jump through some hoops on the website, and then you send in your manuscript, and then they
Right.
approve it within a couple of days. But really, as far as getting it up onto Audible, of course, you have to hire. Now, this is an interesting question. Are you going to read your own book on Audible, or are you going to hire someone else to actually do the voiceover and read your text?
Wow. Okay. Woo. I rather get someone to read it especially from um how about that, Aaron?
No
So
problem.
I rather get somebody to read it because you have some nice accents out there, like American accents, Australian accents. So, I'd rather let somebody else read it.
So you'd rather have your Jamaican story be told in an American accent?
Yes. But
That's
I know
adorable.
I know the Bible is in Patois, Jamaican Creole.
I
So I
see.
may get some patois in it because a lot of people love the Jamaican patois. But I like Australian voice, New Zealand voice. So I will ask Julius Serrano to get
Indeed.
it done for me and a couple other voices who
Indeed.
I know.
You know what though? You know what's funny about that? I remember that. That's been a very long time, guys. We had him on the show a long time ago here at Aaron's Opinion. Julius Charles Serrano, motivational speaker, actually originally from the Philippines, by the way. So he's
Yes, he is a
so
gem.
and that's what I called the episode. He really is a gem, but he doesn't have a New Zealand accent. He has a Filipino accent. So do you
Excuse me, Filipino.
so do you really want your Jamaican story to be told with a Filipino accent? That's very funny.
I
That's
could
it's
listen to his voice all day. Seriously. No, seriously, I could listen to his voice all day. Seriously.
That's hysterical. That's
And
that's
I tell him that. I tell him that I can listen
and
to his
and what is
voice
and what does he say?
all day.
And what does he say
He's
when
like,
you?
well, Princess Dia, enter me ready. Because I told him that I want my book to be read in, that type of voice. So he's like, well, Princess Dia, whenever you're ready. So.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, no, I appreciate that. That's very endearing. I would prefer to hear your not that it's any of my business, which it's not, but if you want Aaron's opinion, I would say that I would prefer to hear your beautiful Jamaican story of success be told in a Jamaican accent, like your beautiful Jamaican accent. As a matter of God, I could listen to your Jamaican accent all day too. You should read your book with a Jamaican accent. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Jamaican accent. All right, no problem. I will do it.
Yeah, I mean you're proud of your country, right?
Yes.
You're okay.
No, I
So
am. I am because I was doing some drops, some DJ jingles for a friend of mine in Australia. And he's like, I want to hear some more patois. So you gotta do some more Jamaican jingles. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
persons are like, how do you get those Jamaican accents? And I'm like, a friend of mine, hello. So, yeah.
But you see, it's interesting though. I noticed that like Jamaican people have they don't you don't always use that personality though behind the patois. It just depends on what you're trying to express, kind of. Like I've noticed there seems to be a time and place for it, is what it seems to me. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, but no, I think the other reason too that other authors have told me is some people are just better at writing than reading. So sometimes they prefer to write something and have someone else read it who's a really good
True.
reader. But yeah,
That's true. That's so true.
that's probably a lot of it. So, and how long are these books going to be? Mm-hmm.
All right. Ooh. How long? For my life story, that'll be like 30 pages.
Mm-hmm.
30, yes, 30, 45 pages. And for the business book, it will be like 60, 70 pages, 80 pages.
So pretty short, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. The thing is, when you read, people tend to be bored. And I want to get to the point, right? I may go more, I may increase it, but when you really want to get to the point, post your points and just move on to the next one. That's just me.
Right. Sure. 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 Sure.
So I may go to 100 or yeah, I may go to 100.
Yeah. I think if you keep it between 500 and 1,000, that would be a good read, probably. Yeah, but that's pretty good. That's really interesting. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm sure that maybe from time to time you might have been wondering about my life, or probably not. But if you have been wondering about me or Aaron's opinion or what's going on, I love to let the guests ask me some questions. What are some burning questions that you really want to know? After we've had these episodes and now that we know all of this, what else do you want to know about Aaron's opinion and all of that?
All right. So first of all, let's go a little teensy weensy personal. First
Sure.
question is, what has been your, greatest fear, and how have you overcome it?
Well, I think that right now I do have a fear in my life, and I appreciate talking about it. I think that we are, my family, my brother and I, and parents, we are preparing to move somewhere.
Oh,
And that, I will tell you from the bottom of my heart, is a real fear, and I can tell you exactly why. I've lived in this community where I am right now for basically 30 years, my entire life.
wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of my first time moving as an adult, being, aware of it. So that's kind of where things are going this year. So it's a little scary and a little stressful and a little crazy. So in America, it's a big deal when you move,
Mhm.
not to minimize anything, but a move is a move anywhere, but it's especially a big deal when we're completely moving states, change of lifestyle. Um, and so that's one of the things that's going on in my life that is a sense of anxiety for me, and a bit intimidating. But the good news is that it's coming up very quickly within the next couple of months, so I'll find out about it. But that's kind of a pretty big thing for me to have to go through. Now we went through the pandemic, and then other stuff happened, and now the move. So it's kind of pretty hectic, actually.
Okay, so my next question to you, Aaron, is where do you see Aaron's opinion in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I would like to be able to look at this program and to see how many different people around the world we truly have helped. Um, I would like to eventually turn Aaron's opinion into some sort of a business in the far future. I just don't really know what that is. But I would like to see Aaron's opinion become, you know, a product for people that they can turn to get knowledge and to get information, for these blindness issues and any other issues in their lives.
Okay, so two more questions for you.
Sure.
Um, the last time so where's your podcast now in terms of the channel? What's the difference between the YouTube and the audio side? Tell us about that.
Well, it's right here on YouTube, and you can find it on Anchor or anywhere else you get the podcast. So it's on iTunes and all the major platforms around. It's also on. You talked about radio. It's also on Life Improvement Radio too. That's that Helium Radio Network thing. Yeah.
So you're saying that you record and then you go straight to YouTube, but you put an audio file on Anchor.
Right, and then of course that file gets that Anchor gets, on all the different platforms from Spotify to iTunes to Google, wherever. So in other words, people follow the podcast or they follow the YouTube, but it's all the same. Yeah, exactly. Or they listen on the radio side on Life Improvement Radio, that thing. Yeah, you're on Life Improvement Radio by now, right?
No.
Oh, oh, you should be. It's really easy. It's really easy to get onto their network. You should definitely. Culturama with Diva should be one of their podcasts for sure.
Well, we'll talk about that contact
I see.
off air.
I see.
So, all right. So is it that Anchor is your podcast host?
Yeah.
Oh, so weren't you with Spreaker and others?
Yeah, I was in the past, but then I switched it. And I think,
Back to Anchor.
yeah, back to Anchor because I think I like,
Because
because of the independence that I was. I don't know. There were just some odd things that were going on with Spreaker, but I would I would equally recommend Spreaker or Anchor to anyone. They're both excellent choices, for very different reasons, but they're both extremely high quality, for what most people would need to do in podcasting. That's where I would send people mostly, to either one of those platforms. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So my almost last question is, what do you do when you're away from the microphone, from work?
Well, actually, when I'm away from the microphone, I'm on the microphone because I still, thanks to God, have my teaching job that I've been doing for 6 years now. So that's been a consistent over these trying times, is my teaching work. And then I come here on the podcast, to continue to connect to the world. But the more content I put out, the more I realize how much I really, love being a content creator and things like that. All right, everybody. Well, you heard that is very exciting. That was the bell. I try to end the episodes before we get cut off like that.
Right.
So great, as always, as I like to say, great episode today. So glad to have you. And everybody click the link in the description. Tanika, Culturama, or Creative Minds, whatever you call yourself, keep up your great work. And of course, we'll talk off air anytime you like. All right, everybody, great episode and take care.